ever imagine like your 4-year-old just casually playing piano at a family gathering?
Oh, yeah.
Like almost unbelievable, right?
Yeah.
But that's the kind of magic this Musicolor method seems to promise.
Hmm.
And you shared their songbook, volume 1 with us. So let's dive in and see how this whole color-coded world of music actually unfolds.
Well, the method's creator, Andrew Inkovet, he actually kind of stumbled upon this idea when he was trying to teach his own son, who was pretty young at the time, piano.
Oh, wow.
And, the existing options were either like way too simplistic or they were way too advanced.
Yeah.
And it's, I think it's a struggle a lot of parents have,
Fully.
wanting to nurture this interest, but not really being able to find the right resources for that age group.
Yeah, no, it makes total sense. I remember my parents, they got me those like, toy pianos
Right.
that barely even played a tune.
Yeah, yeah.
This sounds way more like sophisticated. So how does the Musicolor method actually bridge that gap?
So Inkovet, he landed on this simple but really powerful idea,
Yeah.
using color as the foundation.
Okay.
And we're talking like colored stickers
Yeah.
directly on the piano keys,
Wow.
matching washable markers for the child's fingernail,
Oh, that's smart.
and then a completely reimagined notation system.
Okay, hold on. So instead of traditional sheet music with all those like, black dots and lines and stuff,
Yeah, yeah.
what do they use?
Color block.
Color blocks.
Color block. And it creates this like really incredible direct visual link. So the child sees like a blue block on the page, then they look at their blue, marked finger, and they immediately connect that to the blue key on the piano.
So it's almost like a matching game.
Exactly.
Instead of having to like decipher all those like abstract symbols,
Right.
which for a young child, I mean, that makes so much more sense.
Absolutely.
And it's fascinating to me how like bypassing that initial, I don't know, hurdle
Yeah.
can just like open up, this whole world of music so early on.
Yeah, and that's really the beauty of it. And there's a good pedagogical basis for this approach too. Yeah, there have been studies that show that incorporating play-based learning, which the Musicolor method does with these colors, significantly improves a child's engagement and their information retention
Interesting.
compared to, more traditional rote learning methods.
Wow, okay. That's really fascinating. So it's not just about making, learning fun. It's actually like backed by, research, and
Absolutely.
that's really cool. But let's talk about the music itself for a second.
Oh.
What are these like color-coded compositions like? What are they like?
So each song is very cleverly designed, basically as a finger exercise in disguise.
Oh, sneaky.
Right. So every time the child plays, they're building that dexterity, they're building that muscle memory without even realizing it.
It's like sneaking in those veggies.
Exactly.
But instead of broccoli, it's, Beethoven.
There you go.
So walk me through how the learning actually progresses. Do they just like start with chopsticks and then jump into like, concertos?
Not quite. Not quite. But
Yeah.
the songbook, it starts with, very basic 5-finger positions
Okay.
around middle C.
Okay.
Think like really simple, repetitive melodies
Got it.
that just solidify that initial connection, that color finger key connection.
So it's all about just building that like initial foundation.
So
No
they-
need to rush into like complex compositions before they're ready.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
As they progress, though, the songs, they gradually introduce new patterns, new rhythms, and musical concepts.
Yeah.
Take, for instance, how finger numbering is incorporated.
Okay.
So in piano playing, each finger is assigned a number, right?
Right.
And the Musicolor method, it kind of subtly introduces this, by the way, that the colors are arranged on the fingers.
It's like learning a new language, right?
Yeah.
You start with like, the basic vocabulary, the grammar, and then you can start, tackling those bigger, more complex sentence structures.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And just like a good language program, the Musicolor method uses, engaging content.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So, for instance, one of the early songs is called What's Your Favorite Ice Cream?
Okay, that's adorable.
Yeah.
I can already like picture like the little smiles on their faces.
Yeah, exactly.
But what about something a little bit more, I don't know, structured? Does the book include anything that like, resembles those like, those classic piano pieces?
Absolutely. Yeah, so Birthday Cake, for example.
Yeah, okay.
That one is a clever take on the traditional hot cross buns.
Oh, okay.
And it introduces like a simple 3-note pattern.
Got it.
which helps children begin to recognize and repeat these musical phrases.
So they're like, without even like realizing it, they're like absorbing like those fundamental like musical building blocks.
That's the idea.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
But tell me, how does the method address moving beyond just like single hand playing? Because that always seemed like a giant leap when I was like, first learning.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. Coordinating both hands, that's a big step.
Yeah.
But the songbook, it does address this,
Okay.
and it does it gradually.
Okay.
So there's a song, Let's Jump in the Pool and Play.
Cute.
And that uses a stepwise pattern, kind of similar to scales,
Okay.
but obviously like way more engaging, for a 4-year-old.
Yeah.
Right. And this helps develop that coordination between a left and right hand playing different notes.
So again, it's like those like, classic musical concepts, but like repackaged in a way that actually like resonates with a younger audience.
Exactly.
I'm really seeing the ingenuity here. This is really, really cool stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, it can't all be like smooth sailing, right? I mean, there's got to be like some challenges, built in along the way to keep things interesting.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And you're spot on. Like the song Dinah.
Okay.
That one combines, those repeated notes, but it incorporates some skipping patterns.
Okay.
So that adds a little bit of complexity while still, obviously building on those skills that they've already acquired.
So it's all about finding that sweet spot
Yeah.
between like comfort and challenge.
Right.
Which is, I mean, that's crucial for, really any learning process, I think.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, speaking of, that balance, finding the right balance,
Yeah.
the Musicolor method also has a really interesting approach to practice.
Oh, okay. How so?
So they actually recommend sticking with one song per week
Okay.
until it's mastered.
A whole week on one song.
Yeah.
Isn't that, I mean, won't that get like, I don't know, a little bit repetitive for like a young child's, attention span? So we've talked about like color-coded keys and, finger exercises, like disguised as these catchy tunes, and then this whole idea of piano as like a springboard to learning other instruments.
Right.
But this whole concept of like visual learning, right?
Yeah.
Using those like color blocks instead of like, traditional notation.
Mm-hmm.
It makes you wonder if this approach could like be applied to other areas, beyond music.
For sure.
Like what if we're not like maximizing the potential of visual learning in like, other subjects? You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, it's a question worth pondering, for sure. Yeah.
Like, I don't know, like, what if we, like, taught kids the alphabet using, like, colored letters?
Right.
Like, making that A a vibrant red and the B, like, a sunny yellow. And,
Right.
or, like, imagine, like, math concepts, but instead of just, like, abstract numbers,
Yeah.
they're presented with, like, shapes and patterns. And,
Oh, for sure. Yeah, even something like cooking, right?
yeah.
Could become more accessible if you used, like, color-coded recipes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could kind of remove that initial intimidation factor
Totally.
and just make the process more intuitive.
Right, exactly. It all comes back to just like creating those direct connections,
Right.
like making the abstract like more concrete, more engaging, just like the Musicolor method does with the piano.
Exactly.
And who knows, maybe by incorporating more like visual elements into education in general,
Mm-hmm.
we could actually reach learners who like maybe they don't thrive in a traditional like, environment.
Right.
And maybe we could like unlock all these like hidden talents and passions that are like, kind of hidden.
I love that. That's a really exciting thought.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not just about like teaching piano. It's about kind of like, I don't know, opening our minds
Yeah.
to these new ways that children learn, and just making education in general more engaging and more effective for everyone.
Yeah, I think that's a great takeaway.
Yeah. Because I think, as parents, as educators, sometimes we get like a little bit stuck in our ways of thinking about learning,
Mm-hmm.
right? But the Musicolor method with its, color-coded keys and these catchy tunes,
Right.
it's like a powerful reminder. What if we just like looked beyond the traditional? What if we embraced these like, these innovative approaches that like really resonate
Yeah.
with a child's like natural curiosity and their learning style?
It's a colorful world out there,
It is.
ready to be explored.
Yeah.
So, yeah, maybe it's time we add a little more color to the way that we learn and teach.
I love that. And on that note, we'll wrap up our deep dive into the Musicolor method. It's been really fascinating exploring this, innovative approach to teaching piano. And we hope you've enjoyed kind of this symphony of insights. And we'll catch you on the next deep dive.